Day 10 of Trump's New York criminal trial. It kicked off with Judge Juan Merchan hearing another allegation by the prosecutors that President Trump again violated the gag order. Prosecutors claimed 4 additional alleged gag order violations by Trump. One alleged violation was a comment Trump made during a press event, and 2 of the alleged violations were during interviews, and the last alleged violation was a comment Trump made in the courthouse hallway. As you know, on Tuesday, Judge Merchan found Trump in contempt for his violating his gag order 9 times and fined him $9,000, $1,000 for each contempt conviction. So these 4 alleged violations today, they're different from the earlier 9. Judge Merchan heard arguments on the 4 new allegations, but he did not issue a ruling. The court then took a break. And then former attorney for Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels, and Karen McDougal, Keith Davidson, retook the witness stand. This was day 2 of his testimony. Davidson testified about the $130,000 payment that Trump's now disbarred lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid Clifford for her story of an alleged affair with Trump. Davidson said he received $10,000 of that payment for clinching that deal with Cohen. After the deal was closed, Davidson said that Cohen called him and complained that Trump did not reimburse him for the $130,000 payment to Clifford. On the witness stand, Davidson then pushed back at prosecutors Joshua Steinglass, testifying, quote, "It was not a payout, it was not hush money. It was a consideration in a civil settlement," end quote. After this, Trump attorney Emil Bove began cross-examining Davidson. Davidson told Bove, quote, "I've had no personal interactions with Donald Trump," end quote. Bove then asked Davidson about a phone call he had with Cohen in December 2016. Davidson said that in that phone call, Cohen talked about becoming Trump's chief of staff or attorney general. Bove then asked Davidson if he thought about his legal exposure to extortion charges in connection to McDougal and Clifford's deals. Davidson said, quote, "I have no idea." Bove went on to ask Davidson, quote, "In your mind, were you concerned about avoiding or creating evidence of extortion?" Davidson responded, quote, "Not particularly." Davidson also added that, quote, "I made no threats to anyone," end quote. Then Bove asked Davidson about the time he was investigated as part of a 2012 extortion probe tied to former professional wrestler Hulk Hogan. Bove then asked Davidson if that probe gave Davidson, quote, "familiarity with extortion law." Davidson answered, quote, "Perhaps, I do not know," end quote. Then Bove moved on to ask Davidson about the 2011 blog post on thedirty.com that alleged an affair between Trump and Clifford. The boyfriend of Clifford's former manager, Gina Rodriguez, worked for the website at the time the post went live. Bove asked if McDougal's ex-husband also worked for the website. Davidson said he did not know. The 2011 blog post was taken down after Davidson sent a cease and desist letter to that website. The cease and desist letter came after Cohen threatened to sue Clifford over the alleged story. But the point of this question was to see if Clifford and McDougal were somehow connected. After that line of questioning, Davidson then went on to confirm that he told Cohen that Daniels, quote, "wanted the money more than you can ever imagine, and if Trump lost the 2016 election, which he was going to, then they would lose all leverage," end quote. Once Davidson wrapped up his testimony, records custodian in the Manhattan DA's office, Douglas Dawes, took the stand. Dawes analyzed 2 iPhones in the investigation related to Trump. Both iPhones belonged to Cohen. With Dawes on the stand, text messages were entered into evidence. One batch of those text messages were between Cohen and former White House Communications Director Hope Hicks. Dawes also testified that Cohen had 39,745 contacts on one of his phones. Dawes called it, quote, "unusual," end quote. And now day 10 of Trump's New York criminal trial has wrapped up, and tomorrow the trial will roll into day 11.